Well, hi everybody and welcome. It's Rob Evans and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your body, your health, your fitness, your sexiness from where it is that you are right now to being unstoppable. Now, normally I'm just up in the suit and everything, but today I'm very much branded up. Awaken the sexy within. I've got my hat here. I've got the coffee cup, and I don't even drink coffee. I've got the coffee cup. I've got the book, and then I've got our manual for our online book, which it's about 200 odd pages. This is for our online book. Now, the reason today's topic is about creating deliciously sexy. Now, why is this important for you? You might think, well, okay, sexy, what is that? Well, for me, sexy is about a different way of looking at your health and your wellness, okay? Because a lot of people will never achieve their health and fitness goals because they're just not focused on it. What they do is they get into a bit of a zone where they feel like, yep, I want to achieve this. It's spring, it's summer. I want to look good. So you go off on a bit of a journey, you accomplish that, you fall back into some old habits. And then you just repeat this cycle almost like a roller coaster. My job is to make sure that people are able to establish a sustainable lifestyle that optimizes their health and create these new habits for themselves where they're conditioning themselves to be able to do these things for the rest of their lives. Looking good, looking vibrant, making sure that they can achieve the physical body that they want to, but also making sure that they can achieve the inner health, the inner mindset that they want so that they can carry it forward forever. So let's face it, most people on the globe or around the globe do not know how to do this, or they know how to do it and they're just not doing it, because we know in Australia it's around 67% of people are overweight or obese, and in America it's around 70%. In some European countries it's better than that, but it's generally most people just don't do it. They don't do the work. Now there's one thing really that I find is the most compelling, and I've been doing some coaching sessions with some people this week, and I wanted to use these case studies with you so that you'll be able to relate to them, and so that you can make these permanent changes in your own life so that you can achieve the health, the wellness, the body that you want. So one of the things is, and this is a key part of this program. So if you want to grab this program, Awaken the Sexy Within 60-day online program, I guarantee you that this program, we go book first. If you want to go an extra level of detail, you can go into the 60-day online program. You can go to studiospt.com.au. You can go to our shop, or you can go to our program section, and you can opt in and buy this program. It's available right now for you. It's 60 days. There's over 30 hours of audio, video, instructing you what you need to do for every single day. It's basically taking the book and exploding it even bigger to hold your hand every step of the way through so that you can get the health transformation that you want, the body transformation that you want as well. Now, one of the sections that I want to talk to you today, this is all around day 2, which is, I've called it creating your what, why, commitment, and must. And there's one particular part that I want to talk to you about today. And this is about creating what it is that you want. Now, I'm going to use a case study now of a client that I was just doing a coaching call with yesterday and today. Now, here's the background. So she came to me some time ago. She does a group training session with us, and she wants to lose about 15 kilos of weight. She's been doing really well with her attendance, and during the lockdown, as we're still in lockdown, she's been doing really well for her mental health as well, and not missing sessions, doing really well, making some improvements in her food, but certainly committing to the training and the regularity of that. And she sent me a message yesterday saying, I'm doing all these things. My food is okay, but I am eating some crap, in her words. And I just jumped on the scales and they're not moving and I'm really unhappy. So the first thing that I do when someone does that is say, okay, so what are the things that are working? Because if you're only ever going to measure your success in a health and fitness journey and wellness journey by jumping on the scales and looking at that number, you are setting yourself up for failure, because at some point the needle's not going to do, or the digital reading is not going to give you what it is that you want to see. I just got my cat meowing at me in the background there. She wants to play. Stripey? So it's going to set you up for failure. So what you need to do is make sure that you're using a whole bunch of other measures, and the scales may not even come into the picture for you. For me personally, for those that are following my physical transformation this year, I don't even weigh myself. It's guided by how I feel, how I look, my photos. That's what I'm doing with my coach right now. And we're making any tweaks and changes as we need to from that. But interestingly, she sent me that message on the same day after we had done the fitness assessment. So we did this as a group, and the fitness assessment has 9 different elements, 9 different fitness elements. Now, on every single one of those elements, though some were strength tests, different parts of the body, and the last one's a cardiovascular test. She did better on every single element of those. Okay. So she's getting stronger, she's getting fitter, but the only thing she saw, even though we took 9 measures, the only thing that she saw was what's happening on the scales. So that's not good. So I said, well, let's focus on what is working. You're creating some new lifestyle habits as well. She's coming regularly. It's good for her mental health during this lockdown, and she's living with her parents and stuff, which must be a nightmare for her. And she's had 9 improvements, but she didn't reflect once on those good things. Okay, so don't forget the good things that are happening. So then we said, okay, let's set up a call for today, and we'll go through the food. So I get on the call with her, and I said to her, so tell me a little bit about, what it is that your goals are again. Just remind me. And she said, oh, well, I want to lose a bit of weight, and I want to lose it off my tummy, and I want to lose it from, like under my bra strap and through my back and that kind of stuff. And I'm not using the exact words, but I'm using the tonality and the, if I can say, vagueness that she's doing that. And I said, okay. So I said, just remind me again, what was your weight loss number? And she said, oh, I don't really use the scales. I said, okay. I said, do you hear what you're saying? I said, yesterday you jumped on the scales and said you were really upset that the scales weren't moving. And yet today you've been a little bit vague about what it is that you want to actually accomplish for yourself. And you're saying that you don't use the scales. I said, you have set yourself up for complete failure because you're using a measure that's not important to you. And you're also vague about what it is that you want to accomplish. And she said, yeah, I understand. So I said, here's what you need to do. I said, you need to clearly articulate what it is that you want to achieve. I said, so let's go through some things. I said, they must be measurable though, because you can't say, I want to feel good. Because today, after the phone call, the coaching call with me, you could feel amazing. But tomorrow you wake up and you feel like rubbish, and you've had a bad day, or it's during your cycle or something, and you just feel like really crappy and bleh. So I said, we need to have something that's measurable. So I said, you don't have to use the scales. And I just used myself as an example and said, look, I don't use the scales. So you don't need to. But I said, we need to use something as a measure. So what's it going to be for you? I'm just going to take a mouthful of water. And she says, oh, I'm not really sure. I'm like, okay. So you can see already, just by me explaining to this, like recounting the conversations that I've had with her, how you're thinking how successful this person or unsuccessful this person is going to be. They've done really good up to a point, but in order for them to, say, lose another 15 kilos, we need to do something dramatically different. So I said, okay, well, let's think about this. I said, what size are you at the moment in your clothes? And she said, oh, it depends. I said, yeah, I get that. There's different manufacturers and stuff. But basically, she's a 14. And I said, okay, so what is it for you? Is it a 12? Is it a 10? She's quite tall and the broad shoulders and everything. She said, oh, she laughed when I said 10. So I said, well, is it a 12 or something like that? And she said, yeah, probably a 12. I said, okay, so then have you got an LBD? I said, you know what that is? And she said, no, a little black dress. I said, have you got an outfit that you either used to fit into and want to fit into again? You think, yeah, I'm really looking forward to looking good in that. Or is it a something that you've got imagined on a shelf or something somewhere that you say, oh yeah, I want to look good in that? Or is it a pair of jeans? Because jeans don't really stretch that much. So is it a pair of jeans that right now you couldn't even possibly fit into a size 12 because your hips would need to change, your tummy would need to change. And if you got into a 12, you'd be like, oh, wow, yeah, that'd be really special. So I said, look, you don't have to answer it here, but I said, they're the things that you need to be thinking about. And this goes for the same for you listening for this at home. Just excuse me for a sec. I'm getting a bit dry. You need to have something that is going to guide you. I'd much rather people go by measurements than scales. And a true indication is really something like a DEXA scan, DEXA scan, which is basically an X-ray of your full body. It tells you exactly where the body fat is sitting on your tummy. Do not use the handheld ones or the scale ones. They're just really inaccurate, despite what they will tell you. They're just really inaccurate. Your DEXA scan is the most accurate one you can have. Well, there's bod pod as well, but what is better about DEXA is it shows you on a diagram where the fat actually is, and it gives you the numbers of where it is. So then you get a more accurate indication of where muscle is, body fat, etc. It's much better. So you need to have some form of measurement that you are going to use. So whether it's clothes, pick the clothes it is. If you're a man, maybe it's jeans, maybe it's a shirt, maybe it's, I know I've got some male clients that they want to be able to wear a t-shirt and not have, the tummy stick out like that. They want to be able to be kind of like me, chest is out further. They want to have a strong midsection, that kind of stuff. They want to be able to take their shirt off at the beach or at the pool or whatever and feel good about their body. Women might want to get into a bikini and look good. And so forth. Now, there's no right or wrong for this because it's what you want for you. And here's the thing, and this is where sexy comes into it, right? I talk about awakening the sexy within. So sexy does come within. There's also an out, but it also comes from within because you have to define what that is, what that means to you. So what I might find sexy, you might find, that's a turn off. And vice versa. So there's no right or wrong here. I mean, some people like having really big butts, like the Kim Kardashian, like a wide butt, a deep butt, if you can say that. Some people like big chests, both male and women, like some guys like big chests, some guys don't like big chests. Some women like to have big chests themselves and, some don't. It's very much a personal thing. Some feel if they don't have that size, they don't have that femininity. It's really based on your values and belief systems and what you find personally sexy. But you need to create that vision in your mind. Now, we don't use the word sexy. Now, what did I call this podcast? I said, this is about creating a deliciously sexy for you. So I was doing a coaching session with another client just last week. And I said to her, when we got to this section, I said, tell me what it is that you really want. And she went through it and it was quite powerful in parts. And then she said, I want to be able to look really good, which was part, like the end of it. And I'm like, okay. I said, how does that make you feel? And she said, yeah, it feels good. And I said, good sucks. I said, people say, how you going? You say, yeah, good. And it's just a reflex. You say you're good. You don't want to look good. I said, imagine this. And this is a good test for you so you can work out, how something is important to you or what's going to drive you. I said, imagine yourself that you are in. I want you to imagine this. So picture yourself in the shape of your life, how you want it to be, how you want it to be. You're in the shape of your life, okay? And you're naked. and you're standing in front of your soulmate, and your soulmate says to you the words that you want them to say to you. And if they're standing in front of you and they say, "You look good," that's not firing many juices up. That's not doing much for you at all. But I said to her, what if your soulmate says to you, "You are deliciously sexy"? Now, doesn't that immediately conjure up a whole range of different images, feelings, emotions within you? You betcha it does. So this is the thing. If you start to attach yourself to being, "I'm getting towards deliciously sexy," that's what I can imagine someone's going to say to me, because I've done this, this, and this, and I can imagine that I look like this. I can imagine everything. So I can go through my whole body and I can tell you that what I want my traps to look like, what I want my shoulders to look like, what I want my arms to look like. I want them to have more definition. One of my weaknesses is I don't think I look broad enough here. I want a bigger lats under here, so it gives me more of that V shape. I want that sexy six pack for me. I want to have that definition through here, through each layer, and the line down the center. And I want my abs to be nice and even. I want you to be able to see my quads, the definition through my quads. I want you to be able to see some veins sticking out of my arms. I want to have a really defined back as well, and good calf muscles. And I can go right through it and tell you in detail and tell you exactly why I want it to be like that. And the main reason is for me, okay? You've got to do this for you first, because no one else is going to care about your body as much as you. And I can tell you from a man's perspective, when it comes to a woman, this is going to sound really blunt, but most men don't particularly care that much what their female partner or male partner looks like if they're having sex. They really don't care. Because if they're getting sex, then they really don't care about the rest, really. I'm being, quite broad with this, but that's a general rule. Most guys are pretty simple, okay? So that's not going to help you be able to achieve the sexy body that you want, because you could be unhappy with yourself and your partner's going to say how much they still love you. And they could say, "Oh, you could turn into a big fat blob and I really don't care." It's like, I don't know. I don't want to hear that, because that's not going to help you stay accountable and stay motivated to achieve also what it is that you want to do. So this has got to come from within you. And my whole journey this year is because of me. Okay. It's because I want this for me. I want to show myself what I can achieve with the dedication. I want to see how good I can look by working harder than I've ever worked before to put myself in the best shape that I've ever been before at the age I am. So it's going to drive you differently to the way that it drives me. But if you connect with that, I want to look deliciously sexy, and to me, that looks like it's a size this, or it's this jeans, or it's, this dress or whatever. If you want to look smoking hot for you, I think that's awesome. And then if you're married, you've got a partner, whatever, well, they just get to benefit from it, don't they? And you get to feel good about the fact that look at all the hard work you've put in, and somebody else can enjoy it as well as you. And I think that's beautiful. My key here is to get you to connect with something that's going to move you. Okay. Now we're talking about sexy. All of this relates to your health and fitness. It all relates to getting in the food, getting in the exercise, doing all those things. But if I go back to the first person I was talking about, until she connects with what she really wants, what she has created, that vision in her mind of that sexy body that she wants, then I said, "You're not going to do it." And I said to her, "Do you have a partner at the moment?" She said, "No." I said, "So here's the thing. I work with thousands of people. Pretty much all of them have partners. And I say, the worst thing for you right now would be to get a partner." So I said, "Here's what will happen. Right now," she's only a younger girl, in her early 20s, I think. I said, "What will happen for you is that maybe right now you feel like you're maybe a little bit incomplete." And this is kind of my story as well. "And to feel complete, you want to have a partner. And when you have that partner, you'll feel complete because you feel like somebody loves you for who you are. Now, what then happens is because you now think, wow, I'm really connected with this person, you're now like this, okay? You're intimate, you're loving, you're spending as much time with each other, you know, you're going through this beautiful period of time together, and all of a sudden your focus shifts from everything else to, I just want to be with that person. Because when we connect, when we're physical, when we're intimate, that's beautiful, and I feel really, really happy and at peace. And that's a beautiful thing. But what usually happens is then the other person isn't as focused, perhaps, as what you are, or you want different things. You start to get some unhealthy habits that creep in. And before you know it, you just get, you know, bigger and bigger and bigger, or further away from your goal, or further away from the optimized health that you want. And that disappoints you, and that upsets you. And you think, I'm actually now, I often get partners, both of them come to me and say, well, you know, we were doing really well. Then we met up and we put on 10 kilos over the last, you know, 12 months, 2 years, whatever. And we want to get back to where we were. It's very, very common because people fall into this category of, we just love each other. We're together. We don't have to work hard now. So boom, that's just where it is. And you get these new habits that form. We don't want to do that. We want to live to a higher standard because there are so many other you know, illnesses, issues that come with, you know, letting yourself slide. But until you come up with that definition, it's going to be tough for you. So I'm going to read you an example of what mine is. Mine's a little bit different now, but this is why I'm saying that I want to achieve what I want to achieve. I've said to be the absolute best version of the physical me that I can be. I want to optimize my health, look sexy, be powerful, muscular, and strong, and have a limitless supply of energy to lead the life that I want. I must have fun and enjoy the process. I want to be an amazing role model for my soulmate and my children. Now, that covers so many different things, but what the key message here is that I've used really powerful and emotive language, and that shifts me. I'm driven by that, okay? I was thinking when I was creating my book and this program was, what can I call this? It's going to drive people, because I want people to look at health and fitness differently. So I said, sexy, sex sells, but it also drives people. It's very emotive. It drives people to be different. And there is not one person that I've ever coached that has not wanted to be more sexy, more desired, more delicious. And that just gives you so much more self-confidence. It's great for your self-image as well. And obviously there's a whole range of other benefits from the loving, not just the physicality, but the emotional connection that you have with yourself, but also the way that you have with others. And then you create this beautiful life with other people so that you can live with common goals and beliefs and values. And then like I'm doing, I'm passing this on to my children so that they can do the same thing, making sure that they understand why I eat the way that I do, why I'm at age 52 and I'm in the best shape of my life and still working out and getting smarter at it, not just going hell for leather and getting harder and harder because I'm getting older and it's getting harder for me to achieve the things that I want. Right now, I'm spending less time in the gym than I ever have, but I still love my workouts. And I love doing what I'm doing. I'm just doing it in a smarter way right now to take me to my end of year goal. And then I'll reassess and do it slightly differently. But this is such a key part of who I am as a person. And yes, today all is about sexy. And it's about creating those very bright images for yourself. But all of this leads to a healthier version of you, a more energized version of you, a more focused version of you, a more confident person in you, a better self-image of you, which means you're bringing a better version of yourself forward for you and for everybody else. And I guarantee you that means more income. Okay, so if I had have called this sexy equals more income, then maybe that would have grabbed more of your attention up front. But you've got to think how all of these things connect like links in a chain to each other, and they're really strong links. And when you have more energy, you will do more for everybody else. You will coach better. You will sell more. You'll be more focused. You'll be more present. You'll be more energetic. You'll want to do more. You want to learn more. You want to grow more. It's so, so powerful. Hopefully you can feel and hear how passionate I am about this, because I I tell you, I changed my corporate career from using my chartered accounting skills to do what I do now, because I wanted to be able to help change people's lives through doing what I do. And that is also helping them change their businesses, like I've got a whole range of business information in me as well as a business coach, but it's through this core of health that I believe is the ticket for you being able to create a greater business. Because I meet so many business people that are tired. So many executives that are burnt out. So many people that are not giving their all to their kids, especially men, not being present for their kids, not being present for their partners, not creating that energy within a relationship, not just relationships, but in your most important relationship, which is, well, the one with yourself, but then with your intimate partner. I want you to think about this. Imagine that you've got this great vision for what it is that you want. And if you're listening to me right now, watching this right now, I would guarantee you that you're probably not where you want to be within your physicality. Maybe there's an element of your inner health as well that's not quite where you want it to be. But certainly with your outer health, I'm sure there is an area where you want to make a change. And look, I'm in the top 1% of health for my age, and I want to change. So I guarantee you that there's a lot of people out there that don't even have the level of health that I do that want to change. So I'm assuming that everybody watching this wants some change. So I want you to create that very crystal clear image for you as to what you want to look like naked. That's the best way to do it, because that's a really harsh conversation to have with yourself. And in my book and in the online program, it's the very first thing I get you to do. I'm not going to demonstrate this, but you stand there in front of the mirror, completely naked, and you examine yourself from top, shoulders, head, down, chest, everything. Turn to the side, turn behind, take photos if you need to so you can properly, assess what's going on behind, and examine everything. And then say, what do I want that to look like? What's your dream? And some people say, I can't imagine things. Well, I think that's a bit of a cop-out, because if I told you right now to close your eyes and I described in detail this item, and let's say it was a lemon, and then I said, I want you to lick it, I guarantee you that all of you would probably, you would salivate and you'd be like, oh yeah, I've really got that. If you really got into it, okay, that's vision. Okay, this is the same thing. So you might have an old image of yourself, an old photo where you were maybe in a bikini and you thought you looked good if you're a female. If you're a man where you're playing sport or something, you said, yeah, actually I liked when I had bigger arms or legs or whatever. Maybe there's a particular, movie star or something. You think, actually, I really like that feature about them. They look really good. I aspire to be the best version of myself that looks like that person. For many years, I modeled myself a bit off Jean-Claude Van Damme, because he's about my height. He's a bit taller, but about my height. And I thought, actually, I would like that sort of definition in me. That's achievable for me. Because if I compare myself to Arnold, for instance, so I'm 5'5", 5'6". He's 6'2", I think. So longer muscles, bigger bones and everything. So a completely different look that I couldn't achieve the length of those muscles or the size of those muscles because of my size. So you've got to find those things that you relate to, and then just get a very clear picture of it and write all this stuff down. I was so committed to mine, I wrote it down and I included it in here. And I maybe changed some things, but this still reads really true for me. It took a lot of work in it being right for me, because it's got to resonate. And not just that, it's got to drive you. Every sentence there, I can see that it would drive me to do what I do every day. And it took me some time to come up with that, probably years to come up with that particular statement. For you, it might be the same thing, but it's got to move you. It really does. Emotion drives you. So if you say, I want to look good, not good enough. I want to look delicious. I want to look sexy. I want to look hot. I want to look smoking hot. I want to be whatever it is for you. But that's going to drive ultimately you to eat right, exercise right, do it consistently. Most people generally know what it is to do. They're just not doing it. This will help make you do it. So I've really loved bringing this for you, to you today. If you want to know how to get a copy of these things, well, like I said, you can go to awakenthesexywithin.com. You can go to my Studios PT. That's Studios, Studioz, PT, as in P for personal PT, P for personal training, and .com.au. And you can go to the shop there and you can get it there. Or you can opt in at the mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com. And we can connect and I can answer any of your questions. You can opt in for a free consult there. But you stay sexy and do the homework. You'll really enjoy it. See you soon. Bye for now.